shoot me a text message. But if you do have an issue with your building, like right now, I'm working with Miss Brown from 941-951 Hoe Avenue. So they were having a huge problem there with kids hanging out in the building, not social distancing. So we went in there. I did an operation between April 23rd and April 25th. We effected 5 arrests, and we issued C summonses. Now, listen, we're not going out there and hammering the citizens. You know, these are kids that are in the hallways, they're playing dice, and they're smoking marijuana. So, I mean, in the middle of this epidemic, they should be out in the hallway, period. We also had complaints from a couple of different locations of bars and clubs that are open. So what these clubs are doing now is that they're keeping the gate down, but they're operating, and they're letting people, it's almost like speakeasies. It's like being back in the 30s.
What are the clubs? What are the clubs, Sergeant?
So one of the locations, actually, that I shut down last week was 1302 Lafayette. It's a Mexican bar. It's like right by Hunts Point and Lafayette.
Yep.
Right around Seneca and Bryan, that area. So that was one of the locations. And there was another location. I'm trying to see here now. It was on Southern Boulevard. I'll get you the address. But we shut both of those places down, and we did SLA reports, you know, because obviously we're not supposed to be functioning. We're not supposed to be using bars. But the important thing is, and this is what I told Ms. Brown, is that you guys reach out to me because, you know, we're running on minimum manning right now. We have about a third of the NYPD total is out right now with the COVID. So the NCOs are doing a lot to help out with patrol and answer 911 calls, as well as, you know, trying to do our NCO duties. So if you guys can be our ears out there, if you guys see something in your building, please let me know. And the minute it's on my radar, it'll get handled. It'll get taken care of. So if you guys are ready for my phone number, I'll give you guys my cell phone number.
Hi, Sergeant.
It's 914-879-9990.
Sarge.
And I'll give my email address. So it's going to be Louis, Louis, .Guglielmo, GUGLIELMO 2 @nypd.org.
All right. Sarge, just one question. This is Bobby.
Yes.
Hey,
Bobby.
Anything on Westchester on those bars?
No, you know what? Honestly, a couple of my trouble spots, they shut down and they closed down. Tequila Bar, Exito, which was a big problem for me. They shut down. We've been going down there every night. I had the plainclothes guys out there. So most of you know what it is? Most of these guys don't want to lose their liquor license because that's what's going to happen. If I catch them operating, I do an SLA report. Like this place on Lafayette, 1302 Lafayette, this guy's going to eventually lose his liquor license because he was operating during the pandemic, and it's the governor's order for a shutdown.
He was a bar or a grocery store?
It's a bar, but it's connected to like a store, like a bodega. So he's got 2 locations there.
I don't understand why he did that. We know him.
I mean, listen, yeah. The guy was telling me, I mean, I understand people are frustrated right now and people have to pay the rent. So, I mean, the guy's a business owner and he's trying to feed his family, and I understand that. But, I mean, the bar's closed. That's it. There's no bars, you know, there's no bars or clubs open right now. So, and then we've had a couple of trouble spots with, if you guys walk by any stores that are shuttered, and you see any kind of suspicious activity, please feel free to call me, because we've had an uptick in commercial burglaries, mostly along Westchester Avenue. There's a 99-cent store that was burglarized, 998 Westchester Avenue. And what they did was they smashed the window, went in there, grabbed as much stuff as they could, and took off. So my guys responded right away. I mean, we missed them by maybe 30 seconds if you watch the video. But that's what they're doing now. They're doing a lot of smash and grabs. So, but if you guys see anything going on, even stores that are not supposed to be open, you know, definitely shoot me a text message or give me a call. Like I said, my phone is on 24/7.
Okay. Sergeant, thank you so much. I appreciate it. We're going to we're going to move on now to Chief Sheridan.
Give my regards to the captain.
I definitely will.
Hey, Chief Sheridan.
Hi guys. Chief Dan Sheridan, Battalion Commander, 3rd Battalion, in the FDNY. The running is down since the COVID hit, big time. Everything is down. Just in the month of March, I don't have April's figures yet because they're not up on the years. But fires are down from 16 to 14. Non-structurals are down from 10 to 6. The big thing is the emergencies are way down, especially on the medical. I guess because of the way they're segmenting the calls. So for us, we're not responding to the segment 2s and the 3s, just the 1s. And I've seen a good decline in the we call it a 1037 code 1, which is the COVID fatalities. So we went down from 206 to 102 on the regular running, and total running for all emergencies is down from 372 to 217. Talk about manpower. We had our medical leave rate was up to about 19%. It's slowly coming back down again, and but you don't have to worry because we have what we call minimum manning. So we have to be staffed at a certain level regardless. So we're using what we call an ABCD chart. So we're working straight 24s in that way, ABCD, and then it repeats itself. I think we're going back to our regular schedule, maybe May 10th. I heard. So, but you never have to worry about companies in the fire department being out of service because we've also activated in Longwood and Hunts Point. We call them RRVs. You might see them around. They look like utility trucks. And the firehouse on Prospect, 42 truck, has an RRV. 47 truck has an RRV. So you might see them responding to medical calls as well. Just a question for the sergeant. He said about 1302 Lafayette. If you find that these social clubs are operating illegally, you could let us know in the battalion, and we'll. I don't think we have the task force anymore, but I can notify the marshals or fire prevention if there's any kind of fire prevention issues. My email is, you could use my personal one. It's just Daniel.Sheridan. It's my name, Daniel.Sheridan at fdny.nyc.gov. And my cell phone is 646-734-0524. And if you have any fire prevention concerns, any kind of issues that you need to be dealt with, just feel free to reach me anytime.
Okay.
I don't know if sanitation is here. I got one other issue that I'd like to deal with sanitation. The residents on Seneca Avenue are abusing our dumpster to a point where now it's becoming a health hazard. We called 311 last night, the captain of the engine, and they spoke to 311 about possibly getting some surveillance from the sanitation police because, it's bringing rats into the area, and next thing you know, they'll be in a firehouse. So,
Chief, what's the address on Seneca?
We're 1226 Seneca. Or 1225 Seneca.
Okay. So that's your house, right?
Sorry?
That's your house, right? That's the address to the house there.
That's the firehouse, yeah.
What? And that's the address where the this is happening at?
Yeah, the dumpster's in front of the firehouse.
Okay. All right. I'll follow up with sanitation. That's not a problem.
Yeah, please. It's really getting out of control. I mean, it's just been, and I even think there's some commercial people using it as well. So it's flowing into the street now, and it's unsightly and it's drawing rats. So we really need it to be addressed.
Okay.
Thank you.
Chief.
Yes.
Good seeing you. You're a friend of ours. You've been here for quite some time. Please keep up the good work and stay safe, sir.
Thank you. Do you need me to
problem.
stay on the meeting?
Yeah, it's up to you. If you want to, it's fine.
Does anything?
This meeting, Brendan.
Sorry?
Listen, please, I'm muting everyone. If you're going to unmute yourself, I'm going to kindly put you in the lobby. So there's a reason why you're muted. There's everyone echo come in the background. Chief, you're more than welcome to stay on. Thank you so much, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, take care. All right,
Ralph,
we're moving on.
can I interrupt real quick?
Hello?
You real quick is Danielle. Ralph.
Yes.
All right. So if any other presentation speaking, they should put all their information or email and number in the chat so everybody has it. And also, there's a raise hand option that if someone needs to interrupt, they can press that and they can interrupt if they need to.
All right.
Okay, I'm going back on mute.
Thank you, Danielle. All right, we're now going into roll call. And what I am going to do is I am going to open it up for everyone. And I would kindly like if people can just remain quiet and then let Yvonne do her roll call. And once we do our roll call, I'll mute everyone and we can move on the agenda, okay? I hope everyone understands that. So I'm going to mute everyone. Yvonne, you can start whenever you're ready. Whenever you're ready.
You guys hear me? Hello?
Yes, Yvonne, go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me?
How is an echo coming through?
You're on mute. Hello?
Okay.
What?
Didn't work out, right? I got Yvonne open. So, Yvonne, let's go down. This is going to be a tricky one here. I see a lot of people on the participants, but I think we have to do a formal roll call.
Okay. Cool.
So
I guess everybody's still muted, or will they unmute themselves when they hear their names?
Once, just go down the list. Once they acknowledge themselves, it should take a minute, and then I'll mute everyone back on, okay?
All right. Awesome. All right. So we're going to start off. Albert Austin Jr. Evelyn Araújo. I can't hear anything.
Well, I actually texted her and asked her the same thing, and she responded with.
Oh.
Nothing.
All right, that's not working, guys. I'm sorry. We will come back to the roll call. Me and Yvonne, we're gonna just chat right now and just see whose names would come up, and we'll do it. Please keep yourself muted. Like I said, if you're gonna unmute yourself, and I am going to just put you in the lobby. So please stay muted. I'm trying to be nice and give people their own option, but if you leave it up to me, I'm just going to mute everybody and take everyone's cameras off. Let's just go back to the agenda. And now we are up to the adoption of the minutes. So I'm going to put Bobby on to explain what we're doing with the minutes. Mr. Chairman.
Good evening, everybody, and I thank you for your attempts to try and stay on and be heard. It's a little rough, but we wanted to make sure we had some kind of a meeting today, and I hope everybody's family is healthy and safe, and let's continue practicing what the mayor has stated. As it pertains to the minutes, what we will do is we will, from what I understand from Ralph, everything that is being said tonight is being recorded, and we can then download it and have it ready for everybody when business opens up for the community boards. It's my understanding from what I've understood from the mayor's office, it might be in June, and that's a maybe. So if that's the case, we will then have this month's meeting for you guys to adopt, and next month's meeting to adopt. Right now, there are no minutes to adopt other than the February meetings which have not been adopted. And so I know you guys have not received it and don't have any minutes to adopt, but what I will do is suspend the action of the minutes until we are all present for it. Go ahead, Ralph.
We're up to the chairman's report.
All right, on chairman's report, I think the councilman is on, by the way, Ralph.
I have the council member Salamanca and I have State Senator Sepulveda. So if you want,
let's have them on first.
Now?
Let's have them on first because I know that they're doing some other stuff. So
okay.
if you could
so
put
we have
them on
Councilmember
first.
Salamanca.
Yes.
Councilmember Salamanca. Hi. How we
You
doing,
hear,
sir?
you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Oh, good evening, everyone. First, I really wanna acknowledge and thank your district manager Ralph Acevedo and your chair Bobby Crespo, because not all community boards are doing what you guys are doing. So, really, I want to thank you guys, to ensuring that these meetings continue. Just to give you some information, I'm gonna try to do this in three to 5 minutes. My office is closed, like many of you know. I mean, we are working from home or working remotely. I closed my office on March 12th. It was important for me to ensure that my staff's safety and my constituent safety was priority to me. As you know, the city of New York or the state of New York is on pause. The governor announced that we'll be on pause to, I believe, sometime in mid-May. But, hearing from his press conferences, it looks like they will be extending it. I know that the board is working and communicating with all of your board members. But to be quite frank, I don't see community boards meeting again till September. Just keep that in mind, in terms of how you guys operate. But whatever support you need from me, I am here. I am homegrown. This is my board, and I will do whatever I can to assist you. Just to give you some information as to some of the work that my office is doing, as some of you know, we have been going around to different parts of the district doing food distributions. I really got to give a big shout out to the produce market for really stepping up and helping out, giving food to those individuals that are in need. I have not had an event in Community Board 2. I've only had 3 events. I will be coming to Community Board 2. I'm going to do a few events in Community Board 2. So please be patient. Putting together these events take a lot of work. We need to, I need to work with the different markets and the different businesses to ensure that we're getting the appropriate supplies for the community. But when I do come to Community Board 2, you will be really happy with what's happening. For those of you that live in the Hunts Point community, as you know, the Hunts Point Rec Center is being used as a food distribution center. There was a big hiccup from the mayor's team where they took parking on Spofford Avenue from Tiffany to Monida, and there was about 75 parking spots that were lost, and it made absolutely no sense for those parking spots to be lost. And again, this is a failure from the mayor's office because, they never communicate. They just make decisions as if they know what's happening on the ground here in the South Bronx. It took me about 2 weeks to get this rectified, but we were able to get the line moved from Spofford over to Lafayette side. And as a result, we were able to get the 75 parking spots back to the residents in Hunts Point on the Spofford side. What we did was that we moved the line over to Lafayette, and it turns on Tiffany Street, which I was okay with giving up those parking spots because, to be honest, there's really not a lot of residential buildings or residential parking in that area. And as we all know, the Banknote building is closed. So as a result, we've converted Monida Street a one-way going towards Spofford Street. As we all know, Monida Street was a one-way going towards Lafayette, and it has been a smooth transition.
And so I'm extremely happy with that. And also, as a result of moving that line, we've kind of made a deterrent for prostitution. We all know that we have a prostitution issue on the corner of Lafayette and Tiffany Street, and that has calmed down because we've moved that line over there. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to read my notes here to give you guys. So the community board reappointment applications have been out. For those of you that have not filled out your application, I recommend you reach out to Tom Lucania or your district manager because if you did not reapply, chances are you're not going to get reappointed. For those board members that have more than 3 absences in a row, I recommend that you reach out to your district manager and your chairperson because attendance is important. This is, your attendance is quorum, and that's how we move business. And if you're not attending meetings, therefore, getting quorum is a difficult thing. And as a result, business cannot be moved. And there's many people in the community who want to join the community board. And if you can't make it to meetings, and then we're going to fill those slots with individuals that actually want to come and attend meetings. In terms of what we're doing in the city council, last week we held our first stated meeting online on Zoom, which was really exciting. And, what was really exciting also was that all 50 council members showed up, and so, there's some pieces of legislation that are being proposed. One of them is basically doubling the annual hourly rate for businesses that have over 100 employees. I don't know if I'm supportive of that because, to be quite frank, businesses are struggling, and we have many businesses in our community who are doing the right thing, paying. If they have over 100 employees, they're paying their employees, they're paying their employees appropriate salaries with benefits. And so I want to ensure that whatever legislation we pass in the council, we get to, keep and save jobs. And so I'm not too sure where I'm at with this bill that's being proposed. At the last stated meeting, I also proposed a bill whenever the parks are open. For those of you that have children, such as me and those unexpected parents, we all know that when you have to change your child, a changing station is important. And if you've ever gone to a park's bathroom, they do not have changing stations. And so I have a bill that basically requires Parks Department to install changing stations in all of the park's bathrooms. And with that, I really don't want to continue going on and on and on. I know that you have your business, but I just want to tell you, I want to give you words of encouragement. I am so proud of Community Board 2, the work that you guys do, to being able to hold business, as needed, and having this online session is, I'm just really proud of you. And I want to congratulate you all on the work that you're doing. So congrats to you, Mr. Chairman, and congrats to you, Mr. District Manager. And with
Thank you, Councilmember.
And with that, I would take maybe 2 or 3 questions, if you allow me to.
But before we take any questions, Mr. Councilman, Councilman Salamanca, I want to thank you on behalf of the board for the help on the distribution center. And it was a big fight. It was a 2-day fight that we all had with the city. It was good for the city to realize that what we were saying was the safer and faster way. And I want to thank Captain Sherblin also, who worked with us on that issue. But most of all, you, who brought the commissioner from DOT, the downtown commissioner, Commissioner Pollack, to come down and speak with us. And so like that we can then explain what our objections were.
Yeah.
So,
and Mr. Chairman, thank you for your words. And I also want to I want to thank everyone that reached out. As many of you know, my dad passed away in the beginning of the month of April from the COVID disease. My dad, for the last couple of years, he was suffering from advanced dementia. And my dad was being taken care of at St. Vincent's de Paul, to be quite frank. And St. Vincent's de Paul did an extraordinary job in taking care of my dad, ensuring that he had 24-hour care, ensuring that my dad was comfortable. And I got to give a big shout out to Julia Cruz. Julia, thank you and your team for all the work that you guys did. I mean, it means the world to me. And, I'm going to get emotional here. My dad went to Lincoln Hospital when they couldn't, when the COVID hit because he needed medical care. And Lincoln Hospital as well did an extraordinary job. I know, being born and raised in the South Bronx, people talk a lot about Lincoln Hospital, but Lincoln Hospital has been a mecca in our community. They take care of us, and Lincoln Hospital took care of my dad. And I just want to really thank everyone for your condolences, for your warm remarks, for your messages, but most importantly to you, Julia and St. Vincent de Paul. What you did for my family means the world to me, and I thank you.
I don't know if Julia maybe want to say something.
Can I just say something, gentlemen?
Absolutely, yes.
Ralph, it was my pleasure, and I am so glad I got to know you better and your dad better. So I thank you for trusting us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
so with that,
our council member, thank you so much for that. Please continue the good work, and you know that you have a strong supporter in the community board too. And if anybody please mute yourself back. Next up, we have Senator.
Mr. District Manager, very quickly before, I just want to let all the board members know. I know you see me on social media. I've done, today was my third event that I did a food distribution. I am, I'm trying to get the kinks in and out to figure out how to make this work. I promise Community Board 2, I'm going to do something big. It's going to be big. And so I ask you to please be patient with me. We will get the word out, but we're going to, drop the mic, just to say in Community Board 2, we're going to do something big for you guys. So please just be patient with me. I'm working on it. Okay? God bless you all.
Thank you so much, Council Member. Thank you. Take care. Senator.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Again, I also want to thank you, Bobby, and you, Ralph, and all the board members for this meeting and for the work that you continue to do. It's extraordinary, the kind of work that all of you are doing. And in the community like ours that needs as much help as possible, to have each and every one of you do and participate and contribute the way you are is a testament to the community that we represent. So I want to thank each and every one of you, and hopefully one day I can go and embrace each and every one of you as a show of thank you. Some of the things that we're doing, well, most of us have closed our district offices because of the current COVID crisis. But we are doing a lot of work with the community. My office fields about 250 calls every single day, helping people in the community. Most of the things that we're working on right now is on helping people get tested, delivering or getting food for people, helping people with evictions, especially unscrupulous landlords that are trying to exploit tenants in this situation. Now, we have been working with the World Central Kitchen. We've given out about 7,000 meals, working with some of my other colleagues, including Assemblyman Michael Blake. We've given out about 7,000 meals per week, something that we're going to continue to do. I'm working with East Side House at Mitchell House's Community Center from 10 to 12 on Wednesday, and Millbrook Community Center from 1 to 3. They're going to be giving out a lot of food for people who are in need. So I urge you all to make it there as soon as possible, because sometimes when we open up these pantries, the food goes quickly. And so anyone that you know that needs help can always reach out. As a backup, in case anyone needs help, remember that the schools are giving grab-and-go meals, and the senior centers are giving them out. And if you need to know which senior center is closest to you, you can call 311. Another area where we are providing a lot of help is with domestic violence issues. Again, you can call our office. It's confidential. We don't divulge any information. We protect the confidentiality, but there's been an uptick on domestic violence issues in our homes, and we can see why. If you need help but you can't get to my office for any reason, you can call 311 and they'll help you. Same with people that are in need of mental health assistance, 311, or you can call our office and we'll connect you with providers. If you know anyone that's having symptoms and want to know if there are symptoms that may be related to the COVID, they can call my office and we'll connect you or help connect you to a medical professional from Health and Hospitals Corporation. You know that the Bronx has the highest percentage of positive results when people get tested for COVID, but unfortunately, we're being shortchanged because we have the lowest number of tests done in the entire city. Even though our people are suffering at a greater rate, Latinos are suffering at 34% infection rate, African Americans at 28%. Again, we're not getting our fair share. So I've been raising hell with the mayor's office and with the governor's office to secure our testing sites. The last one we had is with NYCHA, with a group called Ready Responders. They started at Jackson Houses, and they're going knocking door to door to most of the residents that want to test, because not every resident wants one, surprisingly enough, and getting you tested right there. They will have telemedicine people available to give you information on the spot. And if anybody tests positive, there will be medical help. And all of this, the important thing is free of cost. Now, the objective is to get this to all of the NYCHA developments that we can. And I'm working with the governor's office and other electeds to make sure that we can bring this program throughout the entire NYCHA development and then get locations so that the testing, which is critical for us to go back to a relatively normal life, the testing is critical. And I know there's been conflicting information. Certainly the President of the United States has created chaos, but please keep in mind that until we get the amount of testing that's needed, we should not stop taking the precautionary measures that will help us stop the spread of this virus. This New York State Senate, we had a conference last week, and we have determined that clearly we have to go back into session to do the people's work. One of the major issues that we're going to be tackling is revenue, because the governor has refused to tax those that are extremely wealthy in this country. And we are proposing 4 taxes that will help us cut the deficit and provide funding for programs like medical care and schools. But medical care, very importantly, because there is a proposal to cut Medicaid, something that I find completely insane under the conditions, especially in our communities that, unfortunately, despite a lot of the work of our leaders, we still last in terms of healthcare indicators. So we're raising hell with the governor to make sure that the Bronx, especially these areas in the Bronx where you have a lot of health issues, do not get the short end of the stick. On housing, many people are concerned about rent, and people that have homes that are less than 3 owners or 3 or less owners are concerned about mortgages. As a result of that, the leader of the state Senate, Andrew Stewart Cousin, has created a working group to essentially tackle, with legislation, funding or otherwise, the issue of rent and mortgages. Now, because prior to me being an elected official, I was primarily a housing lawyer with 28 years of experience. He asked me to serve on this committee. So as I do that, I'm going to do it with that in mind, that the people that I represent, especially in the South Bronx, are suffering. Many of them are going to need assistance with rent, but also individuals that are trying to reach or have reached the American dream and have a 1 to 2 to 3 family home that need help with things like paying their property taxes and paying their mortgages, that they're also taken into consideration and their needs. My office number is 718-991-3161. I urge anyone who needs assistance to call us. I have a 16-member staff that have been working diligently every single day, including weekends, to help the community. You can also follow us on social media. If you have any questions or needs, please feel free to give us a call. You can call the board, and maybe Ralph or Bobby can connect you with us. Either way, we're here to serve you, and we know that the needs of the community have, and I will be there 100% to help you in any way that I possibly can. Thank you all. Stay safe, and God bless you all.
Thank you so much, Senator. Please be safe, and please continue the good work. Mr. Chairman, before we get on, with the chairman's report. I just want to acknowledge that we have the director of community boards with us, Tom Lucania. I don't know if Tom wants to say anything or maybe give the borough president's report. Maybe Alexa will do it, but I just want to afford Tom the opportunity now if he does want to say a few words. Tom? Okay, moving on. Mr. Chairman, I just also want to acknowledge also that the secretary and I did a roll call. We presently have a minimum of 21 board members, so quorum is established. And we can go on to the chairman's report now.
Thank you, and thanks Cynthia and Danielle for doing that. It's good to know that everybody is taking their positions quite how should I say, being responsible for their positions as board members. My report's going to be very short. You already heard about the meeting that we had concerning the distribution center at the community youth center up on Spofford from the councilman. But I also had another meeting with the borough president on April 18th, and on the meeting was Department of Health, SBS, the Small Business Services, BOEDC, Department of Education, and Department of Health. I don't know if everybody knows that the lunches that are being picked up at the distribution centers does not include the senior centers, but they're having that done separately, and they have their listing of the senior centers that are going, that they have their own drop-offs being done to the senior centers. However, my question to DOH on that issue was, how about the seniors that do not live in a senior citizens building? So what they had stated that we need to do is that if we know any seniors that do not live in these buildings, to call 311 and they will connect them and they get registered, and then they will start having the lunches delivered to them. I don't know if you guys have that information, but it's if you know of any seniors that need this service, that need food to be delivered, the best thing that I could tell you is to go call 311 and just let them know that they want to be registered for the Senior Citizens Delivery Program, and then they will connect them to that side. I also asked Department of Homeless Services about our drop-in center for the homeless, and DHS has stated that they removed the planks that were out on the streets covering the building. I asked them what are they doing for any of the additional drop-ins that the city is trying to get people to go into the drop-in centers, and they did not have a total answer other than they're working on it. I know that those that are homeless and are coming up positive on the COVID, they're putting them in hotels. And so I asked them to get back to us on it. They assured me that they will. And there was also, with the Small Business Administration, I was told that there's a listing of 1,600 workers that they're looking for, and they should be calling 311 and ask for the SBS line and say that they want a listing of the jobs to make sure we can have it. They're looking for people to do, I guess, some light construction, and there's about 150 employers that are on that list that are looking for people. So I'm asking you guys that if you know anybody that's looking for a job that's presently right now still waiting for their unemployment check, that they should start, go to SBS and ask, go to the 311, ask for SBS, and look for the, and ask them that you want to register for the jobs that SBS is promoting. Presently, right now, from the Department of Education, they told me that they have 11 sites. They've dropped off on a daily basis approximately 8,000 meals, and there's still and that there's approximately 250 tablets that they still have that if you call 311 and go to DOE and register yourself, or a family registers themselves, that they will probably get the tablets. According to the mayor this morning, he stated that that's what was going to be done in the next couple of weeks. So we have to make sure that we stay on top of it. We have 3 centers in Health and Hospitals Corporation that they're doing testing, which is North Central, Belvis, and Jacoby. They're doing testing from what, as it pertains to HHC. However, if you register with yourself with Department of Health, there's 2 more sites. I know of only one, which is at the Bay Plaza Center. Anybody that's got any kind of immune disease or have any other kind of problems like asthma, diabetes, high blood pressure, should be registering themselves, and they'll register you and give you an appointment. So like that, you can go to the Baychester, ask for the Baychester site, and you can go there and get tested for that. Trying to figure out any of my other notes here, but basically that's my report. Also, one other thing, we will be, I am going to nominate 3 people for the nomination committee, which is Jesse Harris, Roland Lopez, and Stephanie Cordero, who's a new board member. Those will be the 3-member committee member for the nominating committee. Anybody that wishes to be interviewed by them, we will set up the same way we're setting up this particular manner of that we're having a meeting. Ralph will do the same thing for those 3, plus anybody else that wishes to be interviewed for the any executive board positions, which is the chair, first vice chair, second vice chair, secretary, and treasurer. You have to make an appointment. We want to try. I'm going to be sitting down with all 3 of them to see when they have their dates open, so like that, then Ralph can make all the arrangements to have this happen. But you got to send, you have to let us know, let Ralph know through writing if you're interested. And if you are, then please forward your resume. So like that, the executive, this nominating committee can proceed with the interviews. Is there any questions on this particular issue? I believe
kind of
Jesse
difficult
wanted to
to
ask,
few questions here. So no one has their hand raised.
but I think
so there's no
Jesse
question.
had stated that, or rather Lewis had stated he wanted to talk about this.
Luis Marrero?
Yeah.
Luis? Luis?
Yes, I'm trying to work with this. How are you? How's everybody?
Good. Thank you, Lewis. I understand that you wanted to ask something about this.
I was expressing my concern of what's going on with the corona or COVID-19 and to make elections. So I was going to place a motion to see if we can hold the election until September when we will come back, because even like Salamanca said, that there's a possibility that we're not coming back until September. So I think it's fair that this election should be held until then. And who knows, in September we have to make an addition motion. But for now, I'm just, making a motion to hold that election until September because of the COVID-19. And also because we all need to be present, and anyway we have to sign the ballot. So there's no way we can do anything right now.
Thank you, Louis. I understand from my email, my contacts here, that Jesse wanted to say something also. Jesse Harris?
Yes, I do. Are you guys hearing me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I would second that motion because I think it's kind of ridiculous to try to do it under these conditions. And, at this time, rushing into anything, it's going to be very difficult for us to set up the appointments, review people. So I think I second that motion. That we extend it into September.
Thank you, Jesse. So there's a motion made, duly made, and second. All those in favor say, is there any discussion on this?
Whoa. Hold on. So I'm going to have to open it up.
Yeah, Ralph, I forgot about that.
For board members. So we're going to have to open this up. So I'm going to open it up, and it's only for board members, basically, there for the discussion period.
Mr. Crespo. Hello, Mr. Crespo.
Muchas gracias.
Yes, it's me.
Can't hear you, no, gracias.
Aquí. I agree with what Jesse said. And Louis, I agree with September.
So that I can get it clear.
I'm going to propose any members.
Hungry.
On this. Wow.
Monique, you have your hand up? Monique. Nope. So.
Can you hear me?
Who's that? Yes, Monique, go ahead. It's Monique Venice.
It's Monique. I was actually gonna piggyback off of Jesse, if that is a possibility, so that we could come together and do that, because if possible, the duties of each person, is it in the bylaws so that we could read it, in detail before we jump into that?
Yes.
Every position is in the bylaws, and I believe that you did get it when we had a meeting.
I got it.
Okay. I forgot what page it's on, but it's in there. I just want to be able to read. It's under the elections of the election of the board.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
yes.
Can I say something else? This is
yes,
Luis.
Louis.
Yes, I just to make sure that everybody has it, I just wrote the motion on the chat, so everybody has the motion written.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
But before I go any
further,
question,
we have a question from Edwin Martinez. When did applications of the nominating committee go out? Never got the application. There was no application. The nominating committee, as per the bylaws, is selected by the chairman. So we heard the motion. It was second. We had the discussion, and I opened it up if there were any objections from board members. This is board business, so we're only entertaining the board right now, board members. And Mr. Chairman, I heard no one object. We heard two people in discussion in favor with the motion and the second of it.
Is Roland on?
I don't know if Roland is on, because he might be one of the call-ins, and
okay.
I'll open it back up.
No, I just want to make sure that they all agree, but I just want to announce it to everybody. I'll give them all a call just to make sure.
So we're pushing the nomination committee is selected, but we're doing the nominations in September. Is that the motion?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So, the secretary, this is being recorded. The secretary has that, and we'll follow up with that. So we do have a voting item.
All we need is a vote.
Yeah, we have the quorum. So, okay, is that the end of your report, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, but we need a vote, Ralph, on it.
Well, Bobby, I'm going to open it back up, and for board members.
But no, wait a minute. I want Yvonne to go line by line on each member.
Mr. Chairman, we cannot do that. It is impossible to do. I'm sorry.
Okay.
We can try it. We can try it. I'll try it, but just bear with me.
Or just open it up, so and anybody that's in objection, make them state that they're objecting to it.
Well, that's what I did. I'll open it back up. If there are any board members that are objecting, let them state their piece.
You're joking.
Hello, Rob. Rob.
Everybody hit that part? One.
Mr. Acevedo.
You're going to give me one.
Mr. Acevedo.
Okay. Back with your leg.
Look at this with my iPad and my phone something, because I am not on. Nobody can see me. Nobody can see nothing.
Chairman, I heard no objections whatsoever.
Okay, then we can proceed. That was the ending of my presentation.
Great. So we're going into the district manager's report now. I'll be as quick as possible because I have two presentations from two agencies under my report. It's good to more or less make contact with everyone, under this circumstances, and it's good to a way for us to communicate and conduct business. I hope everyone that has emails is receiving my reports. There's a lot of misleading information and a lot of information that changes minute by minute. But what I send out is official from the mayor's office and from the governor's office. And by any means, if anyone has any questions or need resources, please reach out to me. I greatly appreciate that. And with that being said, I want to first open it up to the Department of Health. And I know that we have Erica on the line. Erica Peralta-Dalting. Erica, you still there?
Hi, Ralph. Yes, I'm still here. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, everyone can hear you. And I'm open. And you have a health department person. I'm going to open it up for them also. So the floor is yours, Erica.
Okay, so I want to first start. My name is Erica Peralta-Downing. I'm from the New York City Department of Health. I handle the Bronx. So I wanted to go back to what was announced earlier in regards to, I believe it was the chair that announced, food for seniors. That is not directly the Department of Health. That would be through DIFTA. We do assist, with assisting our sister agencies, anything related to COVID. Nursing homes are regulated through the state, not necessarily the New York City Department of Health. But the program that was spoken about is through DIFTA. I believe Josue can provide additional information regarding that. If anybody has any questions regarding that, you can always email me and I can connect you to Josue. He is the representative for the Bronx for DIFTA. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get started with coronavirus updates. So I'm going to start off with a little bit of the numbers, the reporting that we have as of today, and then I'll go through my talking points. If anybody has any specific questions or any questions that they think about afterwards, they can always feel free to reach out to me. Ralph, you can share my contact information because I am only on the phone, but my email can be shared, and I can definitely respond via email as well. So globally, there are more than 300 million reported cases of coronavirus. This is as of today at 11 in the morning. New York State has 131,507 reported coronavirus cases. New York City has 156,100 reported cases as of yesterday at 6 p.m. For New York City, there has been a confirmed 11,708 confirmed deaths. and 5,228 probable deaths of coronavirus. A little bit of what New York, the Department of Health is working on is, as we all know, coronavirus is community transmitted, so that's why we're asking all New Yorkers to stay home. As we all know, essential services are still operating and essential staff are still operating. We do ask essential staff and healthcare workers to wear masks. And again, if any constituents or anyone in general feels sick, we definitely ask you, everybody should be staying home, but if you are feeling sick, you should definitely self-quarantine yourself and stay home. In the event that you are feeling more sick as the days progress, maybe 3 to 4 days, we definitely ask you to reach out to your healthcare provider. What this means is if you don't have a healthcare provider, we ask you to call 311. We are currently working with H&H in which we assist individuals to get a healthcare provider in their area. Your healthcare provider will be able to determine what are the next steps for you. I know recently the mayor and the governor also announced that there is self-swab testing. I do know that this created a little bit of confusion because constituents believe that they can either order a kit, a self-swabbing kit. That is not the case. The city has implemented a self-swabbing test which allows patients to administer samples themselves at a testing site. So I think that's what got lost in interpretation. It is at a testing site. It's not a kit that you can order at home or purchase. And again, these self-swabbing testings are done supervised by a healthcare professional, okay? So this is a safer and faster way to test for COVID-19. It increases our capacity. Currently, we were doing 15 tests per hour, but with this new initiative of the self-swabbing test that will be in place hopefully by the end of the week, it should increase up to 20 tests per hour. The self-swabbing test will be available at NYC Health and Hospitals testing sites by the end of this week. Some of the things that we are also, informing the constituents, and many of you already know, is face covering and social distancing. All New Yorkers must wear face covering when they need to be outside of their home and may not be able to maintain a 6 feet distance rule. Social distancing, as we all know, this is an executive order that the governor issued. Children less than 2 years old of age should not wear face coverings. People with breathing problems or another health issue that makes them unable to tolerate a face covering do not need to wear one. But again, if you have an underlying health condition, we definitely try to ask you to stay home as much as possible. What does a face covering include? A lot of people think that it is a mask. It doesn't necessarily need to be a mask. It could include a secure paper or cloth or a bandana or scarf that covers your mouth and nose. Essential workers must wear face coverings when they are at work or interacting with customers in the public. Employers must supply these face coverings at their expense. Again, this is also issued in the governor's order. So as we all know, we are in a pause order. The pause order is in effect. As of now, the pause order is until May 15th, but like the council member said, it may be extended. As once we have that information, we'll definitely inform everyone, the community boards and elected officials. As we all know, New York City parks, including dog parks, are closed. All non-essential workers are directed to work from home. Again, this doesn't mean that we don't have essential services operating, which are grocery stores, gas stations, laundromats, banks, mass transit, etc. One thing that I do want to bring up is that we're actually, I believe NYPD was also on this call. If you are receiving any complaints regarding individuals not following the social distancing rule, we want to know about this. Specifically, the supermarkets is not directly inspected by us, but we're working on creating a list to ensure if there are any specific areas that need outreach more in regards to our social distancing policy and our face covering. We want to know. So if the board or constituents or even, the elected officials' offices that are receiving any complaints regarding specific locations, please let me know. You can shoot me an email or reach out to me via my work cell. I'll provide my work cell. I did provide it to Ralph, but I can always provide it as well. And then a little bit of more information. We did hear some questions in regards to health insurance. You know, New York State is health insurance is run through the state. If anybody's interested in applying through for health insurance, it has been extended until May 15th. You know, you could go through New York State of Health. If you need the link or any information, you could definitely reach out to me as well. And addressing another question is that we have recently in our website published the data regarding boroughs in general. There are some zip codes that have been affected by COVID in a greater rate compared to others. Again, these are communities that have had a severe disparities throughout the years. So we are aware. We're currently working on creating initiatives and outreach strategies for these specific communities. We're working with our sister agencies. We have a digital media campaign that we're also working on. The city is establishing a fair recovery task force. What does that mean? That means that we're trying to engage communities that have been mostly impacted by COVID-19, identifying unique needs of these communities, connecting with community-based organizations, elected officials, or essential workers, working with city agencies and officials to address the narrow disparities that we're seeing. So we are aware, and we're currently trying to work on assisting these communities that have been the most affected by COVID-19. And some of the social support that we're offering, as I do know, I won't repeat a lot of what the council member did state, but something else that the health department is working on is with this pandemic, it has caused a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, and we are aware that it can be difficult and it's a hardship. Many of us have lost very close friends, family members. So we are also advertising our NYC Well hotline. You can chat, you can call. The number is 888-692-9355. You can text Well at 65173 and even chat online. The state also has a specific New York State COVID-19 emotional support hotline. They're available from 8 in the morning to 10 p.m., 7 days a week. That number is 1-844-863-9314. Rob, I can share these numbers with you if needed via email as well. And that's it for health. If anybody has any specific questions, please feel free to let me know either now or via email. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll field questions. I will kindly ask people to just email me or contact the office, either Danielle or Cynthia, going forward regarding any questions. Just for not only for the sake of time, but it's rather difficult doing on this. But I really appreciate. Let me ask. If anyone has questions, I kindly ask to raise your hand. That's the only way I'm going to identify you. If you start unmuting yourself, I'm going to mute you back, and then I'm going to kick you out of the room. I've already said that. We're trying to maintain some type of order here. So there's a way of raising your hand. Louis raised his hand. Thank you, Louis.
Yes, I do. Yes, I just would like to know. I know the city is gathering data, and every year I get data from New York City, New York State, from the whole world, from the United States. What I really would like to know is if DOH is gathering data from the community board too, or is not from the community board by community boards, if not by zip codes, because if people are getting infected in their communities, it would be nice where these people to know where these people live, and if mostly, let's say, come from 10459, so now we know there's an issue in 10459, but does DOH gathering that data? That's my question.
Hi, Lilith. So thank you for that question. And you are definitely not the first one to ask in regards to specific districts, by council districts, for example. We are aware that some community boards do share a certain zip code. At this moment in time, we're working on collecting this data, but we don't have those numbers out. Once we have that information, we gather it, and we have it available, I will definitely shoot it out to all the community boards and elected officials, but at this moment in time, we do not have that data available.
Perfect. Once you get it, Erica, you'll forward it to me. I can forward it to Louis, who's the chair of our health committee.
Absolutely.
Great question, Louis. Thank you. Erica, I really appreciate your time. Please stay safe, stay in touch, and looking forward to seeing you at the next District Service Cabinet meeting.
Thank you so much. And again, if anybody has questions, please share my contact information, and I'll be happy to answer everyone's questions. Thank you, and have a good night, and stay safe, everyone.
Great. Thank you, Erica. Next up, we have EDC. They're going to give us a quick presentation about these generators. This is part of the Hunts Point Resiliency Project we've been working on for more than 5 years, and they're about to start installing the generators, so we're going to get that. And they're going to also discuss this truck parking stop we have in the peninsula. So, Wahira.
Hi, can you hear me?
Wahira, Charlie.
Can you hear me?
Okay, floor is yours, guys.
Hello?
Yes.
Ralph, I don't think they unmuted themselves.
Yeah,
we're here. You might be on mute.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Can you please, Alexander, keep your thing muted, please?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can.
Okay, Charlie and Wahira, the floor is yours. And let me know about the presentation. When you want me to move.
Yes. Got it. Thanks. Good evening, everyone. This is Wahira Marta on the Government and Community Relations team at EDC. Thank you so much for giving us an opportunity to quickly just present, some updates about the Hunts Point Meat Market and these emergency generators. I do hope all of you are safe and healthy, as all of your families are. So, Ralph, you can hit the next one. And so just some background, the meat market is comprised of about 6 buildings originally built in 1972. They are all serviced by a single central utilities plant, which is the powerhouse building. So on any given day, the meat market sources energy from Con Edison. In the event of a major storm, the power at the meat market is left vulnerable at the powerhouse building. An elevated backup generator system is really important in protecting the continuity of operations at the market. At a time like this, we really want to make sure that we are protecting the city's food sources as much as possible. This generator comes at a really important time. The year 2017, Councilmember Salamanca allocated about $3.45 million towards the purchase and installation of these emergency generators. So the city was able to help with the remaining funding needed to complete the project, and the cost is about $6 million. Next one. And a little bit of information about the generators. So they, as I said, are really crucial to protecting the market in the event of a power loss. They are set at roughly above sea level, so that resiliency piece was really important for us. 2 generators will be installed to allow the meat market to parallel all electrical service, and they do run on diesel fuel and can run on an emergency basis. So they are tested and certified per EPA standards. Overall, this just means in the event of an emergency, the meat market will have a backup source of electricity to prevent any interruption to food production. Next one. And so the next steps here are the Public Design Commission for review scheduled for May 18th. Installation is completed by summer 2020, and they are anticipated to be fully serviceable by fall of 2020, so right in time for the storm season. And then the next one. And this is just a photo of what the generator looks like, so you all can kind of see that. And then the next one. And that's really it. So if you have any questions, we're happy to answer what we can. The maintenance and everything will be done by the meat market themselves, so they would have to answer some of those questions, but we're really excited to, play a small part in providing them with this backup service.
Great, Wahira, thank you so much for that. Councilmember Salamanca.
Yes.
Ask you questions.
I do have a question for EDC. Thank you, Mr. District Manager. So my question to EDC, I funded this project in 2017. Here we are in 2020, and you're discussing that you're going to complete this project in the summer of 2020. What was the delay? Why did it take so long for EDC to move forward with the funding that I allocated for this project?
So and we've discussed this in various rounds with you, Councilmember. Good to see you. There was a number of issues on the procurement side The original contractor was a much smaller company, and for the EPA has different standards for testing of this type of equipment, depending on the size of the company that is implementing them. In the middle of this process, that company was bought out by a much bigger company, and that bigger company had to adhere to a much more stringent set of standards as it relates to testing. And there was some back and forth with the meat market around the type of generators that they would want, and that also played into some portion of the delay for getting this installed by now.
All right. So how do I know that this time around we have our ducks in order and that this is not going to get delayed again?
Well, the reason we're doing this presentation is to get the Public Design Commission to approve the design and the installation. So the generators, the picture that you saw there, the generators are already on site and installed. There was, a mix-up towards the end that PDC had to review these, but the generators are already on site and installed. The PDC process is to allow us to officially get them commissioned. So we're wrapping up a few minor items to get the construction process completed, but they need to be commissioned, and they'll be commissioned after the PDC review process.
So just to be clear, because I'm a little confused, are the generators installed and are they operational, or they have not been installed?
It is installed. They are not yet operational and commissioned for use.
When will they be commissioned for use?
As we noted in the presentation, we want to have it done by the. We need to get the PDC review process completed and punch list items for installation.
The public, I say like a PDC means what?
The Public Design Commission. Any.
Yeah. What does the Public Design Commission have to do with backup generators? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. It's just like bureaucracy on top of bureaucracy. Again, I allocated this funding in 2017. We are in 2020, and these generators are still not there. It's like a total waste of time from EDC.
Every construction project that happens on city land has to get reviewed by Public Design Commission. We can't just at a whim start constructing buildings and projects like this. The Commission plays an integral role in ensuring that design standards are met and that there is a process to ensure that that designs are reviewed. If this was an internal project, it would be very different, but this is essentially we're constructing a new building for their energy.
All right. Well, I just hope that, we stop wasting taxpayers' money and time and get these generators up and running. Thank you.
Go ahead, Ralph. You said there's 2 presentations, Ralph?
Yes, after this, I think we're going to ask the district manager to email this presentation and the design packet, and that will complete what we need from the community board with respect to the Public Design Commission. We simply need a letter acknowledging that we emailed you the presentation. And I think you guys wanted to discuss truck rest stop that's also in the food distribution center.
Go ahead, Charlie.
Yeah. So it might not come as a surprise, but 90% of the city's freight comes in by trucks. Through various different studies done both at the city and the state level, we know that on a peak day, about 15,000 trucks come into the Hunts Point Peninsula. It is, it's been a historic issue that trucks have not been able to find legal places to park. And right now, there's a lot of truck drivers that are coming from across the country delivering food and other essential items into New York City and into Hunts Point in particular. And we wanted to make sure that we had a safe rest stop for these drivers to park. So we set aside the piece of land that is dedicated for the future home of Grow NYC, which is between Baldor's and the meat market. So you really wouldn't be able to see this location from the street. But set aside for 55 trucks to be able to park. Per federal regulations, truck drivers within a 14-hour period, they can only drive up to 11 hours, and anytime before shift, they have to log a mandatory 10 consecutive hours of rest. So we set aside this truck stop, one in Orange Point and another one in Staten Island, to be able to serve as rest stops for these truckers that are coming into the city to deliver essential goods, and in particular in Hunts Point, delivering essential food that the folks need. On any given day, if you drive through Hunts Point, you're going to see probably hundreds of trucks parked all around the neighborhood. Some of those are resting hours that they need. So we felt that this was a good way to leverage a piece of property that was currently vacant for us. There's a safe place to rest. They have portable toilets. They have there's lighting. OEM and NYPD make regular rounds to make sure that the location is safe. And we are as of right now, we know that it's about 20% utilization. So the 55 trucks, we know based on daily counts, it's somewhere in the teens, so it's utilized as of yet.
Mr. District Manager, may I ask some questions on this?
Oh my God.
I'm sorry, Sandra, that I'm asking questions, but the question here is this operational right now as we speak?
Yes, it is.
And who is going to be doing enforcement there?
Enforcement in terms of what aspect?
Enforcement of, Hunts Point, prostitution, drug selling. You have these truck drivers driving, for days coming in. So we're asking the 4-1 precinct to do enforcement?
Yeah, so NYPD and OEM are both daily rounds to get in touch with the truck driver to see where they're coming from, how many spaces are being used, and answer any questions that these truck drivers may have.
And who is operating this location? Who's in charge of this location?
This is a collaboration between OEM, DOT, sanitation, and us, EDC.
So, again, look, I'm in favor of this plan. I'm excited that we're taking the trucks off the streets. But my question here is, why are we adding more responsibility on NYPD? Is EDC adding funding to the 4-1 precinct to add more officers so that they can properly patrol this area?
I'll have to get back to you on that.
No, I mean, but these are questions, like, you should have these answers, Like, yes, this is a positive thing, but you're just adding more responsibilities to the 4-1 precinct, meaning that they cannot patrol, you're taking them away from our streets to do security at these bus stops.
So they're not there on a permanent basis. It's as part of their rounds. They're making rounds through here in the event that there may be an issue, but there's no permanent presence of NYPD at this location.
And so there's no proper enforcement there.
We haven't heard any issues as of yet with safety and other things. So we are in touch with these agencies, and we haven't heard any reports of any negative activities.
I don't want to keep on hitting on this, but Charlie, I want to have a conversation with your team in my office about this, because there needs to be better enforcement, and we can't depend on the same resources that should be protecting our community to do something that EDC could put funding for to actually have proper enforcement.
Ralph?
Yeah.
Yeah, Charlie.
Yes, I'm sorry.
On how many trucks are going to be in there?
It has a capacity of up to 55 trucks. What I'm hearing from that the utilization rate is pretty low, somewhere around the 20 range.
Right. So regardless to whatever number, they're going to be idling?
No, these trucks should probably be off because they're resting. They're not driving the truck.
And who's going to ensure that that's happening?
I will have to get back to you on that once I touch base with DOT.
Again, Charlie, my concern is that I know that from what Ralph has told me, that there had been some discussions with Maria Torres and you guys on this issue. But my thing is, why spring it on us at the last minute, right before the day you opened? Matter of fact, on the day you opened it was the day you notified the board. Again, the city doing as they please, which is what the councilman had stated before. This is getting out of hand. And it's always been your agency, EDC, that continues to do the same thing over and over again at the last minute. And nobody is going to be able to monitor the idling unless you have police there on a steady basis. Hello?
Yeah. The only thing I can tell you is we know from reports, historically, these trucks are already in Hunts Point, already parked on the streets. We're giving them a safe place to be able to rest, so that they're not driving around looking for a place, so that they're not, in many cases, as you know, on Tiffany Street, they're occupying parking spots adjacent to the monastery or to Spofford, and they're taking spaces that belong to the community. So we're actually giving these truck drivers a central location for them to park, and we believe that this is the right move to get them into one location. I understand that there's questions about safety, security, and we'll get back to you on those answers. But this was at the direction of OEM, DOT, and other partners. Location was a location that is under the management of EDC.
You're saying OEM. Isn't OEM for the emergency management?
We're all working together.
But Charlie, again, I got to reiterate what the councilman has stated. Somebody has to be there to make sure about the prostitution. Now you're talking about you can't see it from the street. So who's going to see the prostitutes in there? Okay? You're saying you can't see it from the streets. Who's going to make sure about the drug activity that'll probably go in there? Who's going to monitor that? If right now the 4-1 is at skeleton bones, with all the officers that have called in sick because of the coronavirus. So that means that if it's online now, nobody's monitoring it. Nobody. And it shouldn't come down to the guys at the 4-1 when they got so many other things to do. When we're calling them for coronavirus sickness because the ambulance hasn't gotten there, they got to respond to domestic violence. They got to respond to other issues in the community. Cars are being broken into. Already I've been told by Altagracia about cars being broken into in Fox and Kelly and stuff like that. I had 2 cars broken into on my block. This is getting out of hand. You guys got to give us more support on these issues. You want to do it? Fine. But give us the manpower to cover it. You just can't. You guys are just nilly-willy coming in and saying, okay, tomorrow we're doing this and that's that. Even though you guys have discussed it, but you never gave us time to plan it out, never talked to us about it. These are issues that the district manager has, the councilman has, and I have.
Charlie, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. So Charlie, is there any way that we can get the 4-1, possibly the council member? You mentioned OEM. Can we have a briefing on this? Like, can someone give us a briefing other than EDC?
Yeah, I'm happy to set that up.
I mean, obviously, this is a big concern. I know that the chairman also mentioned about idling, and your answer wasn't too affirmative, yes or no. I know that the mayor's office did this big initiative now with Billy Idle about idling. So here you have on one hand, the city emphasizing and enforcing idling, and on the other hand, they're allowing it to occur. So I think this is something that
I just want to correct. I cannot confirm or deny if these trucks are idling. I will get you back.
I know that. Your answer was an affirmative yes or no. That's my whole point here. And I know it might be difficult to do a site visit, but even if we can, when things calm down, this is only temporary. I get it. But for the meantime, we're probably creating a safe haven for a lot of illegal activity at this location. So it's something that we would love to follow up with you, okay?
Ralph, I think the councilman has something to say.
No, I mean, look, I think that we need to have another conversation, Mr. Chairman. I think you're right in terms of the way information is communicated to us. They just come up with these ideas and tell us this is what they're going to do. But there's more underlying questions that we have here. Enforcement, we cannot depend on the 401 to continue to do. Look, they're doing the Hunts Point Rec Center. They're asking the 401 to control traffic. Now they're doing this. They're doing this bus depot or the truck depot that they're doing at Hunts Point. They're asking the 401 to do enforcement. When is the 401 going to do what they really need to do, which is protect our communities? They cannot do that if the city continues to add things to them and not give them the resources that they need. So I think that this is a conversation that we need to have as soon as possible this week with EDC, with the 401 and NYPD to figure out how we're going to give them the resources that they need so that there's no interruption in services for our community.
You're totally correct.
Thank you.
Totally.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. Charlie and Wahira. Charlie, you and I will follow up regarding the generators, and then we can all follow up regarding this truck site.
Ralph, I think the NCO captain wanted to say something.
Who?
Louis, the new.
Sergeant Goglio.
Yes.
Hold on.
Hey, how you doing? I'm sorry to interrupt. Real quick, Charlie,
You're not
reach out to me.
interrupting.
If you can reach out to me, Charlie, this is the first I'm hearing of this. I have to report to Captain Schuberlin immediately. We didn't even know this was going on. I'd like to do a site survey as possible. And also, Charlie, I got to ask you, is this a private, is it private grounds or is it public? Like, I don't even know what this depot is. Is it private property? Because that changes the whole landscape of how we can enforce.
Again, it is a piece of property that the city owns and maintains inside the food distribution center. What my comment?
So it's
not
private
being able to
then.
see it from the street. It's not a. If you were walking on Halleck Street, you couldn't just see the property. It's behind a number of buildings.
Okay.
My email is in the chat room. Feel free to send me a quick email and we can talk offline.
This is Councilman Salamanca. I'm sorry, Charlie. Can you tell me who did you inform in the 401 precinct that you were going to do this?
Folks, I personally did not speak with NYPD.
I know, but you're representing EDC, so you should have these answers.
Hello?
Yep, I'm here. Listen,
It's disrespectful that the 401 precinct is unaware that this is happening. Again, this is another slap in the face to the South Bronx. Charlie, you're from this community, man. And so, I'm asking, like, why does not the 401 precinct not know that this is happening?
I'll have to report back to you. I personally was not the person in touch with NYPD.
All right, this will not go unanswered. Thank you.
I'm good. Charlie, I'll reach out to you separately on the message board. Thank you.
Go ahead, Ralph. It's all yours. Ralph? Ralph?
He's on
I'm sorry. I was talking to myself. Yes, I'm here.
You're talking to yourself?
I just want to see if Tom Lucchini. Yes, I'm here. I just want to see if Tom Lucchini is around. Tom, are you here? All right, so let's go over to Alexis. Should be still with us. Alexis.
Hi, how are you?
Alexis.
Hello?
How are we doing? I see that Tom is, his name is here, but if you're more than willing to give us the Borough President's report, that would be great. Thank you.
Yeah, so we hope that everyone is staying safe and doing well during this time. I would like to start off by thanking all of the city workers who are helping us through this crisis on behalf of the Borough President. I want to say thank you to all the board members that are here today. For any members that are up for reappointment, we anticipate that letters will be sent out by the end of May. For any updates on COVID-19 information, resources, food assistance, laboring issues, please feel free to check the Borough President's website as it's being updated regularly. And if anyone has any questions, please feel free to email me. I'll put my information down in the message board. And stay safe, everyone.
Thank you, Alexis.
Alexis, what's going on with the new board members? Not reappointments.
Hello?
Alexis?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So right now, there's no timetable yet for the new appointments. But
Okay.
once we get more information, I'll update you.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Alexis, thank you so much. If you need me, you know how to get a hold of me, okay?
Thank you.
All right, let's move on to the elected officials report. I know we have a couple of them here. Let's see if Anthony Jordan is in the house. Anthony, you here?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello? All right. Thank you, Mr. District
Yeah,
Manager.
we can hear you, Anthony.
And can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir. We can hear you loud and clear.
Yes.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. District Manager. Ladies and gentlemen of the board, I'm happy to represent Congressman Serrano. I want to congratulate, first of all you board members for this is, I think, one of the first board meetings that I've been to in an innovative kind of way, using technology as a way to make sure that the government is still doing its job on a local community-based level. So congratulations, Mr. Chairman, Mr. District Manager, on your leadership making this happen. And I'm sure that many more other community boards will follow your lead on this particular endeavor. I just wanted to bring a message from the Congressman Serrano. We are happy to join our elected officials in bringing more testing opportunities to our district and the borough of the Bronx, especially our harder hit communities. As we know, this unfortunate pandemic has affected so many communities, but especially has a negative adverse effect to people of color, African Americans, Latinos, and so we want to make sure it's important, no matter how much we hear from the White House, that what they have in mind, we are working to make sure Democrats in the Congress and other elected officials are making sure that testing, tracing, tracking are made available. But in addition to that, we're working to make sure that not only our hospitals, but our health care centers have the capability to working with in the community to have the resources they need to be able to help treat and hopefully have currently and hopefully near future positive outcomes as this pandemic moves across our community and affects so many of our people. I want to offer condolences to everyone who has lost someone who is close to them or aware of someone who is close to them through this pandemic, and you have the Congressman's deep sympathy. I wanted to make you aware of some of the things that are happening in the House, because I know I only have 2 minutes, and the chairman wants to keep me on my time schedule. So every day we see the need for further action to combat the coronavirus crisis. The numbers devastating more than 985,000 confirmed cases throughout the country, nearly 55 deaths, and more than 26 million people across the country have suffered from unemployment claims in the past 5 weeks. So last week, the House passed an interim emergency funding bill that will provide emergency resources that are desperately needed to sustain the life and death fight to protect the lives of livelihoods of Americans and American people. Democrats, along with congressmen, are working this to help bring a package that you recently talked about. So let's talk about numbers. For small businesses, we have strengthened the Paycheck Protection Program, which provided over $310 billion in additional funding, with $30 billion reserved for community-based lenders. That means if you do not have a traditional bank, like large bank like Chase and Manhattan or Citibank, we're working with small credit unions and small banks that are throughout our district to make sure that these resources are put aside so that if you know a small business or you have a small business that needs to be able to have access to this money, because we all know the first package didn't go far enough. And so we wanted to focus to make sure this money had more of a grassroots community-based ability to be lent out. The SBA disaster lending program, $250 billion in loans, $10 billion in SBA disaster grants. We have also secured stronger protections to ensure that our nation's farmers have access to this vital needed assistance. For hospitals and healthcare workers, Democrats, along with the congressman, have secured over $75 billion to provide resources and for frontline workers, including personal protection equipment. We all hear stories a lot about hospitals don't have supplies, hospitals don't have enough supplies. This money puts the money at where our mouth is and brings the money to the hospitals to ensure that the hospitals have the resources they need to purchase the supplies and have them regularly available. The administration has also agreed to bring key improvements to be made, to including two significant lowering interest rates and advance payments, lengthening the repayment schedule, and distributing the payments for general revenues, not just for hospital insurance fund. So for all Americans, we have secured $25 billion for testing, which is the key to responding to the economy and restoring our lives. The administration has agreed to work the nation's strategic plan and testing policy, which is focused on increasing domestic testing capability across and providing more testing supplies. In addition, our office has been, like many of our colleagues' offices, are working through technology and teleworking. So if you have any complaints, whether there is about unemployment, about having access to small business loans, about fighting the rent, or having access to food stamps, or figure out that you need to feed your family, our phone number, 718-620-0084. The Congressman's office stands ready to help. Please feel free to email me, anthony.jordan@mail.house.com. .gov, excuse me, and I think I did my 10 minutes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, you actually get 2 minutes, but that's fine, Anthony. If you can also in the comments, you can leave the office phone and your email. That'll be great. And I just want to respectfully let all the other elected official reps know you have 2 minutes. So please get your report in 2 minutes. Anthony, we have an issue with the post office, and I know it's nationwide. But I'm getting multiple complaints about mail being delivered late, mail not being delivered. This is something that I'm going forward, the complaints that I receive, I'm just going to make sure that you're included on the email and we can document it. I know that it's during this pandemic that the post office is extremely short-staffed. However, some of the performance is uncalled for, and I think communication from the Congressman's office to our local post office can pay dividends moving forward. So I'm going to be following up with you with that, okay?
Yes, so Mr. District Manager, if I could add to that, thank you for acknowledging that we are in constant contact, daily contact with the Bronx Postmaster about post offices. We know many of our businesses, especially the Hunts Point Co-op Market, needs to have access to regularly mail deliveries because it depends on making sure we have a strong food chain supply. Payments have to come in from the vendors on time, especially since some of our restaurants are still doing deliveries, and so we need to make sure that we don't cut that off. And so as much, I appreciate it, yes, as much as those complaints need to come in to make sure our post offices are possible, please feel free to communicate with our office.
Perfect. Thank you so much, all right? Be safe. Next up, we are going to have Christina Calderon from the Bronx District Attorney's Office. Christina.
Good evening, everyone. Am I on? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone is safe and well. Condolences to those of you who have lost a family member or friend due to the coronavirus. I just have a few announcements I need to make. The DA is asking those of you who have neighbors who may have children to please be vigilant of any child abuse that may be happening or going on. I've shared with Cynthia a press release. If she can't get to it, you can email me and I can email it to you. But we all know Cynthia is very efficient. She gets the word out. Also, I want you to know that we also shared some resources for those who may be experiencing domestic violence in the household on what they can do. Our Crime Victims Assistance Unit is still operating, although remotely. And finally, just a reminder that Thursday, April 29th is Denim Day, and that's in lieu of awareness of domestic violence and sexual assault.
Christina, thank you so
Oh,
much.
thank you.
Please be safe. Take care. Hold. Thank you. Next up, we have Emmanuel Martinez from Senator Biaggi's office.
Hello and good afternoon.
Good evening.
Evening. So I just want to kind of thank the community board for all they have done so far. I just want to reiterate some of my information. As of now, as you know, I'm one of the representatives for Alessandro Biaggi, representing the 34th district. We're working around the clock just to make sure that constituents are receiving the help that they need. Our senator has been doing food pantry give-outs. Her most recent one was on Pelham Parkway. We're looking at trying to see if we can coordinate something with CB2. I don't have the information offhand off the top of my head, but I will provide information once we find out more details on that. If anyone is interested in or trying to need help or in anything, I can give you my information. Again, my name is Emmanuel Martinez. My contact information is emartin@nysenate.gov. Our office number is 718-822-2049. Again, 718-822-2049. Thank you so much, Ralph. I appreciate
Emmanuel,
it.
just please, no problem. Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you for being on. Please just put your contact information in the comments so everyone can get it there. Thank you.
I already have. I'll put it again.
Perfect. Next up, we have Gloria Cruz from Councilwoman Ayala's office.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for being part of this. I want to congratulate Ralph and his new addition to his little family. And my
thank you. Thank you.
To Ralph and everyone who's lost loved ones. As you know,
I appreciate that.
You're welcome. The council member was fallen ill. She was had COVID, but she's fine now. She's doing much better, and she's back at work diligently as always. We have a newsletter that we send out weekly with all the resources and services, and I put that in the comments for anyone who needs it. But our office is open every day to phone calls and emails. I'm here working every day, so you could reach out to us at 347-297-4922. And I wish everyone to stay safe and be well. Thank you.
Thank you, Gloria. You do the same, and I appreciate the kind words. Thank you.
Gloria, and on behalf of the board, send get well to the council member, and you stay safe, because I know you like to be walking all around that area.
I got to make sure that my people are good and that everyone is good and that I can do what I can for the community, help our essential workers, our small businesses, and our immigrants. So
thank you. Thank you. Next up, we have Mr. Cabrera from Blake's office.
My name is Kelvin Cabrera, again, from Michael Blake's office. I'm still new to all of this, but I'm working through this, to getting everything acclimated. But I just want to update everybody about what the office is doing. We're doing a little bit of, so we've been doing a lot of food delivery. We've been in partnership with World Central Kitchen. So if anybody, seniors included, we're working through getting them delivered. Our office is working through delivering meals to seniors. So if you know of a senior that is in need of food, other than what Chairman Ralph had mentioned before about calling 311 and registering through the program to get your meals, if you're a senior, you can do that. But you can also call our office, and we can work through get you a meal. We don't have a set schedule as of yet. And if you have questions about what kind of meals are delivered, you can give us a call. I'm going to include the information on the chat to everybody. But if you have any questions, any other concerns, if you have questions about rent assistance or your stimulus check, if you were supposed to get a stimulus check, or you know of anybody who has questions about the stimulus relief program that they have, they can contact me as well. It's a pleasure to have everybody here, to be here with everybody, and to be able to share this information. Thank you all for the time, and I hope you all have a great rest of your week and a great rest of the month.
Calvin, thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. If you can also leave your information in the comment section, that'd be great. Thank you. Okay, I don't see any more representatives for elected officials. I just want to see if we can get Mr. Lucania. He's still here, and just afford him the opportunity if you want to say a few words. Tom, are you here? Okay. So moving on, we're going into old business. The last time we met was in February. We had no meetings in March. This will be the only meeting, I guess, now for April. We did have one vote there, which is to push back the election to when we return. I don't know, Mr. Chairman, if you have any old business.
None whatsoever.
Okay, new business. I do have some new business. I just want to thank everyone for participating, whether you're on the phone or if you called in and you're using your smartphone or you're on your computer. In the comment section, there's been a lot of discussion on switching the format, in particular to Zoom. So personally, I'm a Zoom fan. I love Zoom. However, this is the city's software, and the city is, the city wants us to use this type of software. There's another function to this where basically you won't see who's on as far as the participants. You won't see the comments. It will only be the host, which is me, and the panelists, which I would designate would be the executive officers. So I'm trying this format so that everyone is a public meeting. So at least everyone can see each other and everyone can read the comments. And as long as we remain respectful, we can continue with this format. I do understand the audio and the video comes in and out, but that is not a WebEx issue. That is a broadband or Wi-Fi issue, because mine never broke up. And I'm sure there's a few people that it possibly did or possibly didn't. But if this doesn't, let's see how long we're going to be using virtual video meetings. And if it's something that we need to explore, switching the format, we certainly will. So that's it for me for new business. Mr. Chair, do you have any new business?
Yeah, I just want to thank you, Ralph, and the staff on behalf of the board, because all three of you have kept us up to date with all the new guidelines and all the news from the city and the mayor's office as to this coronavirus issue. And every morning, I get mine early in the morning, and so I thank you. I think you're before even the mayor now. You come on before the mayor. So when somebody says you're running for mayor, it's not mayor. You're going to go for governor. But I just want you to know that I know that, and I want the board to know that Ralph and the staff has worked very hard. Even though they're not in the office, they're always talking to me, calling me up, letting me know what's going on. I let them know who to call, and if it's a board issue, to inform the entire board when it's a board issue. Hopefully, we don't have to continue doing this for much longer, but as the mayor stated this morning, that it may go after June, and this we're going to have to get used to it. I've gotten also texts about the site and how people come in and out. You can't hear too well. Unfortunately, I didn't break up, so one thing for sure, I could see that Guadalupe works for a carpenters union, because she's doing a hell of a job wherever she's working at, and she's still on.
All right. But, I also want to, I didn't mention, Mr. Chair, I thank you so much for the kind words. All community boards, we've been pegged actually, which means our operating budget is frozen. So we're not allowed to, spend any type of funding, allocate any type of funding. And we're not allowed. What we were actually looking to do was purchase our PPEs for our seniors and our nursing homes in the district. And unfortunately, we're not allowed to make any purchases on items as such. So, it's been very challenging for us, as far as what we could do and what we can't do. Every day things are changing. So I just want to acknowledge that. Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the kind words.
I'm glad you reminded me on that, Ralph, because I hope the councilman is on. I don't know if we're going to get the 42.5 back again, But if we do get the 42.5, if they can put it just as one of our budget, as a budget, because this issue
as an operating budget, not a
as an
standalone.
operating budget, because this as an issue has created a tremendous amount of headaches for us.
Mr. Chairman, this is your council member. So, look, we're negotiating the budget now. I don't want to misspeak, but I would recommend that you not depend on that $42,000.
Right.
The city has a negative balance of $6 billion, and I don't know how we're going to be able to justify giving all community boards $42,000 on top of their operating budget. However, I would recommend that your district manager look into the $42,000 that we gave you for this fiscal year, because while the city did a peg on your operating budget, they cannot dictate what the council gave every community. So I would really recommend that you look into that, because if you have money left over from that 42, you have an opportunity to purchase things. And
they told us we couldn't spend it on what?
OMB cannot say no, because that's not their money. And if they do give you a hard time, you let me know, and we will address it.
We had a bunch of events lined up. We wanted to do a silent disco for seniors before the pandemic. We was budgeting everything accordingly. OMB, and I have it documented on emails, instruct me not that we can't spend the money moving forward. And I will be more than happy to forward that over to you. But thank you so much, Council Member. You've been a strong advocate and a champion for all of the community boards in your district, and that reflects on all community boards, not just in the borough, but throughout the city. So thank you so much for that. We're going to move right along just for the sake of time, and we're up to announcements. I think we covered a lot of announcements. And Mr. Chair, we had a roll call of 21 board members initially, and I still see relatively that same amount of numbers. Actually, people did drop off, but the same number of board members are on. So I know it'd be a little bit difficult to conduct a roll call. But
I'll just take a motion to adjourn.
Okay, I'm going to open it back up, and people just want to just mention anything they can for maybe the next minute or two. So everything is unmuted.
Ralph, can you hear me? Ralph, can you hear me? Rolling. Very loud. Everyone's talking about yeah, man.
All right, as y'all can see, that gets a little bit complicated. And I can manipulate and format the meeting when no one was you won't even know who else is on. I'm refusing to set that up. I think we did a good job here now of being respectful to one another, and I really appreciate that. And I thank you so much. I'm sorry, at one point I was threatening to kick people out, but that was just for the sake of moving the meeting along. So I'm sorry, and I thank you guys.
And I can only tell you, they've only kicked me out of good places. So if you kicked me out of this one, I would have been all right.
Okay.
Please
Moni,
don't
got
kick me
something to
out.
say,
Can I
Moni?
say something to Salamanca?
He's still here, yes. I don't know if he can hear you, but go ahead.
I'm here. I can listen.
Hi, Salamanca. This is Monique Linus. How are you?
Hello.
I know I give you a lot of grief when I come to your office, but I'm so proud of you tonight. I need to tell you, and I know everybody here feels the same way when I say that you were a warrior tonight, and I commend you. And all I can say is, get him, Salamanca, and don't let up, because that was amazing. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, so Mr. Chair, that concludes our meeting, I guess.
I guess so. Hey, Roland, if you get a chance, give me a call on my phone. I think you got it. If not, ask Ralph and he'll give it to you.
Hold on. What's Roland's number? Maybe this is Roland right here. Hold on. Roland.
Yeah, listen, I didn't get a chance to speak about something, but I'll leave it for later. But during the roll call, you guys fell out. You know, I couldn't get you. Okay?
Okay, sorry about that, Roland.
Yeah.
Let me get your number so I got your number. I'm going to call you in a little while.
Please call me, okay? Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, everyone. Please remain safe, and we'll look next month to possibly have another full board meeting, or if any committee meetings come up, we'll contact everyone. Stay safe. God bless. Take care.
A good job
Thank you.
to you,
Thank you.
Cynthia.
Take care, everyone.
Danielle.